The Holy Prophet, he says, جَمُودُ الْعَيْنِ مِنْ قَسْوَةِ الْقُلُوبِ, says the dryness of your eyes is because of the rust upon your heart. وَقَسْوَةِ الْقُلُوبِ مِنْ كَثْرَةِ الذُّنُوبِ, and your rusty heart is as a result of your excessive sins. وَكَثْرَةُ الذُّنُوبِ مِنْ نِسْيَانِ الْمَوْتِ, and your excessive sins are because you have forgotten your death. وَالنِّسْيَانُ الْمَوْتِ مِنْ طُولُ الْأَمَلِ, and you've forgotten your death because you've got long, far-fetched hopes for yourself. You've set out your whole life plan. You've said, I'm going to reach this level, I'm going to study this, I'm going to get there in my career, I'm going to have children, I'm going to buy this car, I'm going to buy this house, I'm going to have all of this, but nowhere in my grand plan have I factored in the chance or the possibility that my soul may be separated from my body, i.e. I may die. It says, وَنِسْيَانُ الْمَوْتِ مِنْ طُولُ الْأَمَلِ, you have forgotten your death because of your long far-fetched hopes. وَطُولُ الْأَمَلْ مِنْ حُبِّ الدُّنْيَا, and your long far-fetched hopes are as a result of your love of this world. وَحُبُّ الدُّنْيَا رَأْسُ كُلِّ خَطِيئَةٍ, and the love of the world is the root of all sin. Any sin that a person commits, the root of it is in their attachment to this realm, in their attachment to this dunya. And I'm not saying that hubb al-dunya is bad, or that when I mean attachment to this world is you can't have anything nice, and that you must revoke everything and go and live in a cave somewhere. It's not what I'm saying. Amir al-Mu'mineen explains it the best. He says zuhd, asceticism, spirituality, getting closer to God, living that simplistic life to ascend towards Allah. He says zuhd is not that you do not own anything. Zuhd is not that you do not own anything. Rather, zuhd, asceticism, is that nothing owns you. That I have this iPad, or I have this iPhone, or that I have this car. There's nothing wrong with me having those nice things. But tomorrow when this breaks, how many days do I mourn for it? Or my brand new phone that I got, and the first day I got it, I dropped it and scratched it. How I wish I had brought the cover. And I mourn every time I pick that phone up. Man, scratched my phone. Or my new car, I buy it, a week later it gets scuffed. And every time I look at it, I don't like you anymore. Because it's embellished. There's a scratch on it. Amirul Mu'mineen is saying zuhd is not that you do not own anything. Rather, it is that nothing owns you. It doesn't affect your personality. You're detached from it. You've got good things. But when it's taken away from you, then you say it is from Allah. And Allah took it back. I don't mourn over it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Every time I look at my replacement phone, I say, there was a time I had an iPhone, but I dropped it in a puddle and I didn't have the insurance. And then that's why I'm now stuck with this phone. Says it's not that you do not own anything. Rather, it is that nothing owns you. You're not attached to it. It doesn't affect your personality. One of those things that also, attachment to the world has different facets. One of those attachments is the one to food. The attachment that people have to food. You see how grumpy people become when they're hungry. You just have to see everyone's attitude change when it's Shahr Ramadan. The first 2 or 3 days I walk into work and I'm like, look, don't talk to me. Okay, because I'm fasting. And I want everyone to know that I'm hungry. And I'm fasting. And I have this this sad face on my, on me that, I'm fasting. And this desire, or this being run by one's stomach, is also what leads a person towards their spiritual destruction. That I'm so bound, my personality is so linked to my stomach, that when I do not get the food that I want, I become really upset. How weak is that human being? How lowly is that human being whose personality is dictated by the things that he eats? That his aspiration in life is, what is it that I'm going to next eat, and take a picture so I can put it on Instagram and everyone will know that I'm a foodie. Hashtag foodgram. Because we want everyone to know that, look how I'm a great foodie, I'm gone out, I'm eating all of this great stuff. My personality is dictated by it. Amirul Mu'mineen in Nahj al-Balagha, when he speaks, he says Ali once had a brother. Now there's a discussion as to who Amirul Mu'mineen is referring to. Is it Abu Dhar? Is it Miqdad? Is it Salman? Some say actually it may be in reference to Uthman ibn Maz'un. Uthman ibn Maz'un is the companion of Amirul Mu'mineen that was killed in one of the battles. And this is who Amirul Mu'mineen names his own son Uthman after. Where others say, oh no, he named him after someone else. No. He says, I named this son of mine Uthman after my friend Uthman ibn Maz'un. Says maybe he's referring to him. Says that Ali used to have a brother, and he was honored in my eyes. Imagine, Amirul Mu'mineen is saying an individual is honored in his eyes. Why was he honored in your eyes, Ya Ali? صغر الدنيا في عينه. Because the dunya had a small place in his eyes. He didn't give importance to the dunya. Second characteristic, وَخَارِجَ مِنْ سُلْطَانِ بَطْنِهِ. The second thing that Amirul Mu'mineen says is that he had removed himself from the sovereignty of his stomach. He wasn't ruled by his stomach. His personality wasn't dictated by his stomach. I don't know if you've seen these, you guys have these adverts over here, but Snickers did an ad recently. I'm not sure if I've seen it here, but in England it's running. It says, someone's personality changes and they give him a Snickers, and the person eats it and he turns back into himself and he says, you're not you when you're hungry. Yeah? Do you guys have that campaign over here as well? Okay, excellent. So it's not totally alien to you. So this whole idea, the whole society has been made in this obsession, this worshipping one's stomach, that when we come towards fasting or we come towards somewhere where we're restricting ourselves of food, now it becomes for us like a huge burden. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to the Holy Prophet and saying about the people of the dunya, he says to the Holy Prophet, Ya Ahmad, أبغض الدنيا وأهلها وحب الآخرة وأهلها. O Ahmad, hate the dunya and its people, and love the akhirah and its people. And the Holy Prophet asks, Ya Allah, who are the people of the dunya? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lists 27 characteristics. Says the people of the dunya are those that eat too much, sleep too much, laugh too much. They're very rarely satisfied. Just look at these first four. They're often angry. These 4 or 5, there's 27 others. But amongst this, twice Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a reference to food. One, they eat too much. The second, they get overjoyed at the sight of food. See, even food sometimes dictates our religiosity, our attendance to the masjid. We're like, oh, better go today, they're having nihari. Yeah? Or it gives us the drive to even turn up. Oh, I have to go because Fulan is sponsoring the niyaz today. Yeah? And they've asked me to come because they've sponsored it. Forget Allah. This human being has invited, so I'm coming. Or no, I have to go because, they're niyaz and they always give really good biryani, So I have to go. A human being's personality dictated by their stomach. How ludicrous. But yet when we look at our own lives day to day, it is exactly what we do. Everything we do, you ask people, what is it that you work for? And say, I just work to put food on my table. Yeah, we say this, don't we? Amir al-Mu'mineen in Nahj al-Balagha, he says, قَدْرُ رَجُلٍ عَلَىٰ قَدْرِ حِلْمَتِهِ, says the worth of a man and woman, we're being equal here. The worth of a man, well, I have to be careful in America, honestly. In England, people have got strong chins. In America, you guys are really glass-chinned. Say one thing wrong, and it's like, down with him. Anyhow, so it says, قَدْرُ رَجُلٍ عَلَىٰ قَدْرِ حِمَّتِهِ, the worth of a human being is equivalent to their ambition. If you want to know the worth of a human being, ask them what their ambition is in life. What is it that they hope to achieve? Where is it that they hope to be? If they have no ambition, they have no worth. And then he says in a later narration, if a human being's ambition in life is solely to place food on his table, his worth is equivalent to that which comes out of his backside having consumed it. Can you imagine? I just work to put food on my table, just to feed my kids. He says, no. Then if that is your only ambition in life, then your worth is equivalent to that which comes out of your backside. He says, have higher ambition. Aim towards perfection. In fact, this dua that we are looking at, dua Makaram al-Ikhlaq, the first thing that we say in it after reciting salawat, we say, Balligh imani akmal al-iman. My Lord, give me iman, but the perfection of iman. Wa yaqini, and my certainty, ila afdal al-yaqeen, to the best of yaqeen. وانتهي نيتي إلى أحسن النيات, and make my intention the best of intentions. He says, why are you aiming for the middle of the road? See, when we do dua, often we raise our hands and we're like, Ya Allah, I've got this problem. Let's go financial. Got this financial problem. If you can help me, that's great. But at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you've got a week. If not, then I know someone who hooked me up last time. If you can't help me, Allah, then, back of my mind, I've got the bank manager or this person I'm going to go and ask. We never have this dua of total certainty that Allah will answer. And so as a result, our du'as are not accepted. Or then when we do dua, we think like we're asking someone just like us. So I'm like, if you could maybe, sort it out for me to have this. Whereas here the Imam is saying, Balligh imani akmal al-iman. I don't want anything else. I want iman, but I don't want that middle of the road iman. No, I want perfection. Akmal al-iman. Give me the perfection. The Imam is teaching us that when you do dua, do not think God is like you. God is the one that possesses all the ability to do anything He wishes, He wills. It's Qadir mutlaq. When you ask Him for whatever you want and ask Him for the perfection. If you want wealth, if you're struggling for rizq, say, my Lord, not to increase my rizq. My Lord, give me so much rizq after which I don't need to ask again. Why can't I do that? When I do my dua in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it lacks something because I don't really believe. If I truly believed then my relationship with him would be very different. And you see that in Karbala, individuals. You see, say the Shuhada, that he's given everything, and when the narration say that when he falls to the ground, and the individual that says, I was striking Hussein as he was lying on the ground, I had never seen an individual so beaten, so bloodied, that had lost so much in one day, but yet his face so bright. He himself says, Ilahi, تركت الخلق طرا في هواك وأيتمت الأيال لكي أراك وإن قطعتني بالحب إربا إربا لما للفؤاد إلى السواك. My Lord, I've left the whole of creation for your sake. I've orphaned my children so that I may see you. And even if the swords were to come and cut me to pieces, لما للفؤاد إلى السواك, my heart would turn to none but you. Karbala is the height of that love for Allah. Karbala is the greatest love story ever told. Karbala is the peak of Tawheed. Shaykh Muhsin Naqvi has a beautiful poem about it. Tawheed ki chahat to phir garbo bala chal, वरना ये कली खुल के खिली है ना खिलेगी. तौहीद न मस्जिद में न मस्जिद की सफ़ों में, तौहीद तुझे शब्बीर के सजदों में मिलेगी. That if you want tawheed, then come towards Karbala, because you will find it in that sajda of Abi Abdullah, the beauty that Sayyida Zainab is referring to. That beauty where she's saying in front of Ibn Ziyad, I said to you in the first line, gave you a few examples. Says to him, مَا رَأَيْتُ إِلَّا جَمِيلًا. Zainab saw nothing but beauty. The beauty she sees is that night of Ashura. People know that tomorrow they will die. Abi Abdullah has told each and every one of them, but yet they spend the night in prayer. Imam comes to his sister, أخي زينب إذا قمت إلى نافلة الليل أذكريني. My sister Zainab, when you stand for your Salatul Layl, remember me. Remember your brother. It's the beauty of Karbala. That ubudiyah, that submission towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Sayyida Zainab from Karbala, Imam al-Sajjad narrates, from Karbala to Sham, along the way, he says, my aunt Zainab, forget her wajibat, she did not miss her Salatul Layl. She recited that Salatul Layl even upon the back of the camel. This is Karbala. That's love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this journey towards Allah is easy if one puts their mind to it. See, there are certain, I don't want to say not loopholes, but there are certain ways where a person can work smart as opposed to hard in order to achieve closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll give you a couple of examples. The first is with your Salatul Layl. 11 raka'ah to be recited after midnight, after true midnight. 11 raka'ah, but it's mustahab. The first 8 raka'ah are with the niyyah of Salatul Layl in units of 2. The second 2 raka'ah are known as Salatul Shafa', within which there is no qunut. And the last 1 raka'ah is Salatul Vitr, within which there is Surah Al-Hamd, 3 times Surah Tawheed, 1 time Surah Falaq, 1 time Surah Al-Nas. Then you go into the Qunut where you list 40 mu'mineen's names. Allahumma gfirli fulan, Allahumma gfirli fulan. After that you do 70 times Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. After that you do 7 times Hadha maqamul a'idhi bika minan nar. After that you do 300 times Al-Af, Al-Af, Al-Af. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. You go, you finish that Qunut, ruku.